video is brought to you by G2A.com for cheap games, MSP and PSN codes, and sponsored by FatalGrips.com. Use the code BUCKS to get 10% off controller grips, cases and much more. Hey guys, how's it going? MasterBucks here and welcome to the first Newcastle United award ceremony for the first season of the Newcastle United career mode. It was a pretty decent start. I'm very happy with how we went about it in the first season. We of course finished 6th in the Premier League, which is obviously way better than Newcastle are currently doing. And on top of that, we also won the FA Cup, which means that we have qualified for Europe. It's a good thing that we won that game, that final. We got there, we got the win, because now we're in Europe and hopefully we can go even further from there. But of course, we have a couple of awards to hand out today, and the first one we are going to be giving away is the most improved player. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to go to Rolando Aarons, who is of course one of the younger players in the team, and we did put a fair bit of player training into him, but still, this award doesn't go to who just grew by the most. No, it also goes by who was a better player by the end of the season, when at the start of the season, they were playing this well, and at the end of it, they were on a whole other level. Aarons took the next step. He was absolutely superb, and I really want to push to make this man one of the starting 11 players. We already have guys like Cabela and Tovan and a bunch of other players playing out wide, but I really want Aarons to be one of those high-rated players toward the 80s, because when he gets there, he will be amazing. Now, the award for the best first-year player, and this is going to go to Youri Tielemans. Obviously, this award goes to the player that had been brought in this season, so their first season with us, and that is going to be Youri Tielemans. So we recently transferred him in. This is still eligible to actual transfers that were made in real life. So guys like Gini Wijnaldum, he could have been eligible for this. Even guys like Mitrovic, but sadly for those guys, they didn't really perform, or at least when I was playing with them, they didn't really perform as well. We definitely simmed a couple of games and they did quite well. But Youri Tielemans, we brought him in, and he was an absolute lock. He was holding it down so well. He is not only one of the better players that you can pick up in career mode, but straight away he's going to do a job for you. And then you only imagine in a few seasons where he's getting toward the high 80s. I can't imagine this guy. He's going to be so good, and I'm loving him to bits. He's a brilliant pickup. Youri Tielemans wins the, of course, best first year player. The next award we're going to hand out is going to be the best youth player, and this obviously goes to a player that was 21 years of age or younger at the start of the season. And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to go to Ayoze Perez, who was absolutely, without a doubt, one of the better players in the team. Absolutely sensational. Started at around about 73. He now ends the season at about 78. Again, we put a bunch of player training into him, but not too much, not as much as certain other players, but he still was able to skyrocket with his growth, go really well, and became one of the critical players in the team, especially with other players like, especially Wijnaldum, always constantly getting injured and not really being able to have a massive input on the season. It was all Ayoze Perez for the younger players. There were obviously some great players like Aarons as well, who was still quite young, and then a bunch of others. But yeah, no way that we're not giving this to Perez. He was sensational, and there you go. Now for the Golden Boot recipient, and this is also going to go to Ayoze Perez, and this again reinforces how well off and how brilliant he was for us this season. He was the leading goal scorer with a total of 21. I believe he finished the Premier League with about 16 or 17 Premier League goals, but 21 goals overall. It was absolutely terrific, and now we've got an absolute plethora of striking options that we have at our disposal. We now have, of course, Charlie Austin coming to us on a pre-contract. We have Ezekiel now, Mitrovic on the bench, and a couple of others as well, and I'm still going to be looking to sign some real quality players in that area. But either way, Ayoze Perez, he was our leading goal scorer with 21. And now, before we reveal the player of the season, the best player of the season, we are going to hand out the goal of the season and the save of the season. So without further ado, here we go. Not bad at all. But anyway, it is time to reveal the player of the season for the very first season with the Newcastle United career mode. And ladies and gentlemen, give it up for, once again, Ayoze Perez. He is going to be the player of the season for the first season with Newcastle United. Once again, just one of the better, one of the more integral and crucial players to the team. He was always performing for us every single game, always popped up with a goal in almost all the games that we played with him. He was absolutely stunning and superb for a player that definitely wasn't one of the higher rated players in the team. He's actually a really good career mode player, as I'm very slowly finding out, or should I say very quickly finding out. Brilliant performance, great season, and Ayoze Perez is the player of the season. But thank you so much for watching another award ceremony, guys. This for the first season with Newcastle, and of course, the second season of the Newcastle United Career Mode will start very soon. So keep your eyes for that. And of course, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. My name's MasterBucks, and have a good one. Bye-bye.